It's like you want to just give up. And many times that's why things like imposter syndrome happens, cognitive dissonance, those things happen, why we sabotage relationships, we sabotage our own success, why we want other people to fail, because of this disconnection between who we realize we could be, but also the inability to become that person. Hi Podcast Tribe, Gerald Hubert here, and I'm the co-founder of Oxano 7, and today I'm going to be your host. This is the podcast that helps you to unlock your growth and to become the person you were made to be. William Shakespeare once said that we know who we are, but we know not what we may be. And this is exactly what we're going to talk about today, the power of growth. And we're going to have a glimpse at understanding the potential that growth unlocks in our lives and why it is important that you need to grow and why your business needs to grow and why you need to learn that growth is not something that we can just leave up to nature, but we also need to purpose to grow. And with me in the studio here today to talk about this wonderful and awesome subject is Christian Nyembui. Welcome, Christian.
Hi, thank you so much. Hi, Tribe. I'm very happy to be here in this podcast and very excited to talk about this beautiful and powerful subject.
Yeah, this is episode 1 of Unlocking Your Growth podcast by Oxano 7. And, we've been talking a lot about growth and the potential that growth brings into our lives and why it is important for us to grow.
Yes.
And I think the other day I was talking to you about the example of why growth is important. Like, I was thinking about when I remember in the day, many years ago, I was learning how to play the guitar. And I used to, listen to people playing the guitar and I'm like, wow, this is so cool. And in high school, I had friends that were very good at playing the guitar. And I always wanted to play the guitar. And so one day, somebody actually gave me a nice guitar and I had this expectation that when I pick this thing up, it's, beautiful music. Like I wanted to make this beautiful music, and I picked it up and I started playing, and of course I didn't know anything, and so all that came out of that instrument was just like a bunch of noise, right? It was horrible, and just the noise that it made was horrible. And for a while I was kind of put off by the idea or the dream of playing the guitar. And I think many times, in life, it can be like that.
Yes,
that the way that we handle life or the way that we handle our businesses or situations, because we have not grown or because we are inexperienced and we have not been trained and we have not grown in certain areas, we don't know how to use the things that are in our hands. And then they don't work properly, and then instead of looking to ourselves to say we need to grow, what actually happens is that we end up blaming life. We end up blaming, the world. We end up blaming our business or the clients or my spouse or, it's that one's fault or the pastor's fault, and we blame other people and other things because we say it doesn't work, where actually the problem is not the instrument, but the problem is the player because he hasn't actually grown enough yet. What do you think about that?
I think you have been explaining it very well. It's very important for us to realize that we really need growth. We really need to grow in everything that we are busy doing or in everything that we are expecting to become, or any person you want to become. Like I will say this, growth is intentionally. Like you have to be intentional in your growth. You have to know where you want to go and where you want to grow in and what you want to grow. that's the beginning of everything. I think so.
Yeah, I know you. This morning you were telling me the story of, or the example of a child, like a baby. Maybe you can tell that story to our listeners as well, like how we can see the importance of growth even in ourselves as people.
Yeah, I this is how I see growth. There's the part of growth that is like accidental, like you grow without knowing you growing. It's like a baby. A baby is from let me call it a seed, and then it grow in the, like from the mother. With the mother, the baby will grow, and the baby come out like as a child, as a baby, but that baby, by there, the baby is not conscious of his growth, but the parents are conscious of the baby's growth, and they know what to give to the baby so that the baby can eat and grow. From there. There's all program about how they can feed the baby, and then how long the baby can sleep, and then all these things intervene or come in the baby's growth. But there's a certain stage that I can call it the first stage of growth. Like all of us, we start somewhere. We find ourselves doing certain things. We find ourselves in certain circumstance or business or life or job, but we are not really intentionally growing or purposefully growing, because we just know this is just how life is. But the other stage that I can give, like, no, okay, you were a baby, now you are a person, a grown up person, but you don't like your body. You don't like your body, but you want to have some muscles. You want to look like, like John Cena, like, The Rock, But, and in that stage of growth, now you can grow purposefully. Like you're saying, okay, I want to grow in this way, and then I am going to do this, and that's the step that will take. Like, what to eat, how long you have to train yourself, how long you have to be in the gym or which day, and there you are doing it intentionally. And then that's the growth that that's our life, That's our life, and then that's how we should look at the world or everything that we are busy doing. Because as you spoke about, you gave your example of playing. For you thought like, no, it's naturally playing. You can play like. No, you don't have to learn. You don't have to go to the process of learning. But you like, I can do it. And then this is the problem now, as with other people, or all of us. Most of the time we think like, no, things will be just, easy for us. I can just do it. I can just start a business. Or, okay, I went to school, I studied business, and okay, it's okay. I know about business. I know business, and I'm going to do it. But not knowing that there's a journey that we have to go through. And then there will be things that we will go through, like failure, you will, like fear, so many things will happen. But you being intentional at the beginning, you will grow more, and then you will know where to go, what to eat, what to do, who to talk to, and your growth will start there. I think so.
I was thinking, and I'm sure our listeners as well, and those that's watching the YouTube video, if you're watching the podcast, hi guys. I'm sure many of us, when we were little, we used to watch like kung fu movies and everything, and I don't know if you've ever like walked out of the movies or after watching a movie and you feel like, you can just beat up anyone and you just want to go and fight somebody, and because you're like, you're not doing these moves. And I remember one time, we were watching a movie And then afterwards, so one of these kung fu movies, and I was like, yeah, I can do a backflip kick, and I just fell on my head, like, because we kind of, it's like you said, I think in one way we overestimate our abilities because we think that things are going to be easy for us. And I know that when you look at even in the business realm or even in the realm of just growing as a person or having certain achievements, like having a healthy body, having a good marriage, having a stable financial situation, like most of us, we kind of just walk into life and we expect that things are just going to work out, but then they don't work out. And I don't know, like maybe some of you listening to the podcast today, you have experienced that you had a certain expectation that things will work out a certain way, but then because of the reality that hits you, you realize that you are not who you thought you are, or you think that you realize that things are not going to be the way, and then sometimes people give up because they see, wow, I thought it was going to work out, like and I know even with me, before we started Oxano 7, like I had tried to do like 4 other businesses, and the first one I did, like I had that expectation, like I can do this, I'm just going to create this product and everybody wants to buy it, and many people fall into that trap and not realizing that I need to grow. And that's the danger of growth or not growing, I think, is that we don't know what we don't know.
Yes.
And so you think that but there's a whole world out there that you have no clue exists, but you don't know about it, and so you don't know that gap is there.
Yes.
And that can create big problems for people. And sometimes, in psychology, they call it cognitive dissonance, where you see yourself as in a certain position or in a certain level of growth or success, but then when reality hits, you realize you're not there. And so there is this gap in between, and that gap can cause anxiety. It can cause us to be jealous of other people. It can cause us to want to sabotage other people. It can cause us to live a fake life, what is that? Fake it until you make it attitude,
Yeah.
And that's very dangerous, because when you fake it until you make it, you're not giving yourself any room to grow, because you're not acknowledging the need for growth. And I like what you said about a child needs to grow up and then realize that there needs to be purposeful growth in his life. You can't just live life and expect things to work out, because by nature things deteriorate. They don't get better if you just leave them. They get more chaotic. They get more crazy. They become more disorderly. They become they break down. Things break down when they are not maintained. And if we are not constantly growing, we run the risk of actually slowly just deteriorating our lives over time.
And I liked something you just mentioned when we were talking earlier in the morning. You gave an example of a plant. That's how by the way, maybe you can just try to give us the thoughts so that everyone who's listening to us and or watching us on YouTube can give us.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking early this morning about like a seed, and when you have a seed, it seems like a very small and insignificant thing. Even like a tree, it starts with a small seed, and when you have that seed, you don't see what it can become. You only see this small little seed, and what the seed is not the same as what it will be when it has grown. And so many times you can take that seed and you can say, well, this thing is nothing, just throw it away. But actually that thing has the potential to become an incredibly big tree. But you don't know it because that thing is still in the form of a seed. And what needs to happen, the difference, or what takes that seed from a seed into a tree that bears fruit, is growth. It's the process of growth. And so time is required and growth is required for that potential of that seed to be realized. And I think many times in our own lives, we look at ourselves and then we only see a seed, and we are discouraged because we want to be a tree. We say, well, I'm not like that, so I'm not, that person is so successful, or that business is so big, I can never do that, or I can never become that. But you are just in a different stage of your life. There's an old saying that says, don't compare your beginning with somebody's middle.
Yes.
Because you're not at the same place. And so many times we look at those seeds in our lives, the potential that we have, and we disregard them because we think it's nothing, it's just a small seed, but we don't know what that can become.
This just remind me a story of myself. When I was growing up, I was like, you look it up, you see adult, you say, I want to be like adult, I want to be like that. But I didn't know the process of becoming an adult and the responsibility that comes with that. You see, and then sometimes that's why you see some like young guys, they try to do things like to be like those one who are like, even when I'm talking about young guys, it can be a person because there is a personal growth, and then it can be a business that is starting. All of us, we want to be like big guys that we know up there that are leading the industry. We want to be like them, but we don't know the process that those people they went through. And then in terms of us to grow, we have to realize first where we are. Like, who am I? That's why you see, like, even the quote that you gave at the beginning here of what was
William Shakespeare.
Yes, so like you know what you are. The first start by you knowing what you are, where you are, and then where you have to grow. Because you can grow anyway. You can go, and are you growing in the good habit? Are you growing in the good one or wrong one? Are you growing in the good place? Because that matter as well, that matter like very much, like that matter where you are growing. So you have to know who you are, where you are growing in, and then what you are growing in, and then that will start there. And then just relax, just go with the process, follow the process, and you become the most important thing is just you to be intentional of your growth, and then we could just go.
That's good. I've realized even in my own life, and is also seeing other people, that most people don't start growing because they never believe that they can become something else, that they can change. One of my favorite characters in the Bible is Peter, the disciple of Jesus. And there's a story in Luke 5 where Peter meets Jesus on the boat, and he does the miracle of the fish and everything, and Peter kind of realizes, whoa, this guy is not like just a normal person. He's something else. He must be divine, or he must be, sent from God. I don't know what exactly he believed at that time, but Peter looked at Jesus, and he kind of saw this massive gap between this holy man and himself. And what he said to Jesus was, depart from me because I'm a sinful man.
Yes.
Like, go away from me. I don't want you to be close to me because I love sin. I'm not the way you are. I can't be who you are. I can't be with you. But then Jesus turned around and said to him, don't be afraid, for I will make you a fisher of men. And, like just like Peter, and that's why I love the story, because it's easy to see ourselves in that story. And just like Peter, many of us there, we have opportunities to grow, and sometimes even people will want to help us to grow, but we sabotage ourselves. We refuse those opportunities because we can only see ourselves in the current state that we are. We look at ourselves and we say, well, I can never be that. I can never, become like that, because look at who I am. And, that's like, there's the stage of ignorance where you don't know what you don't know. And then there's the stage of kind of, we can say, fear, because you realize how much you don't know. But then there's this massive gap because you realize you need to be here, but you are still here and you don't know how to cross that bridge. And so you want to just run away, just run away. It's like you want to just give up. And many times that's why things like imposter syndrome happens, cognitive dissonance, those things happen. Why we sabotage relationships, we sabotage our own success, why we want other people to fail, because of this disconnection between who we realize we could be, but also the inability to become that person. And it's like that seed, looking at that seed and saying, how can this thing become a tree that one day will feed my family and one day I can climb into and, view the world from the branches? Like, we struggle to see that. But that's the beautiful thing about growth, is that you get to see it as it happens, but you can't see it from afar off. Like, you cannot see, you don't know the journey of growth until you walk it. You don't know what you have to go through into becoming who you were created to be if you are not walking on that path. And many times we look at other people's lives and we see them, doing great things, and we envy them, or we look up to them, we marvel at them, and we say, wow, they have it so easy, like they just became, like they are just this person. No, they have not always been like that. They had to go through their own journey of growth. And it was through that journey of growth that they reached the place where they are. And so we have to realize that all of us, and to the listeners, we have our own journey of growth that we need to take in order to get to that place where we can be the person that we've been made to be.
I think the power of growth rely on you believing, or you knowing your potentiality of growing. As Peter, the example you just give now of Peter, Peter, he was right. Him and Jesus, it was not the same. But what Jesus wanted to see in Peter, it's that potentiality of him imitating Jesus and become like him, because that's what Jesus wants us to become. We want us to be like him. So if at the first you don't believe on your potentiality, because that potentiality, we are born with it. Because as a baby does not make effort to grow. Like a plant, like a tree or any, like, does not make any effort of growing. But at the other side, it's like, just know you believe that you can grow. I believe that anyone can become like John Cena. Like, it's just you believe, and then put yourself in the, like, work and push. You will get there. You'll get there. It's just most of the time, our mindset, it's already, we already give up in our mindset, already see, okay, I can't do this. I like gymming. I like, doing some big weights, pushing them. All the time that I set myself, I want to go up to this weight. First, I do it in my mind, in my head. And then once I go and then push it, and the day that I will come as I can't do that, I won't do that. I don't know. I think so many people will tell me the same thing, like, first believe in your potentiality, that your potentiality of growth, or your growth potentiality. You can grow in, like, then become great, and everything that you are busy, or anything that you are doing or we want to become.
Yeah, that's true. Because if we don't believe that we can grow, then we never, look for growth, and then we we just kind of give up and we withdraw into our comfort zones. And we just leave life to chance, and we complain about the government and we complain about people, and because, but we don't put any effort because we think we can't. And sometimes, that's why like mentorship is so important, because you need somebody that can say to you, hey, you know what, you can do this. No, I can't. Yes, you can. I remember many times being pushed, into situations that I would never have gone into. But because people believe that I can grow, I wasn't, yes, you will not be perfect and you won't get it right, all the time, or the first time or the second time. Maybe by the 20th time you'll get it right.
But that's the process,
Exactly. So you are growing. But if you don't put yourself, or you're not put into that zone out which you are putting into a unfamiliar situation where you are not in your comfort zone and where you have to be something more than yourself, then, if you don't go out into that place, then you'll never grow, because you never realize the need for growth. You don't see the need for that. And that's like the danger in today's world. There's so much complacency because people are just comfortable where they are, and they live their lives through the eyes of other people. On Instagram, on Facebook and YouTube, we watch other people's lives and we desire those lives, but on the other side also, we're just comfortable with looking at their lives and saying, oh, that's, wow, it's kind of like we live through their lives, but we don't actually make an effort to grow into those things. And that can be very dangerous, because we can get to a point where we want to give up on ourselves, give up on our marriage, give up on your business, because things are not working out. But then all that you can see is the fact that it's not working out, but you don't see the fact that growth can change that, right? It's not that your idea is not good. Like, there's a lot of good seeds out there, right? There's a lot of good ideas out there, but the difference between a good idea and a successful business is growth. It's growth. Is that idea needs to be developed. Like, how long did we take, before we even started with Auxano to create any content? Like, we spent months on just planning and preparing and laying the foundations and, working out things and making sure we have grown so that we are able to help other people to grow as well. And so we cannot, like, unlocking your growth starts with understanding that growth is the key to change. And we have to go through the process of growth. We have to go through the process of growth if we want to see change in our lives, if we want to see change in our circumstances, if we want to see change in our countries, if we want to see change in our marriages, if we want to see change in our business. Growth is necessary, because that is the power of growth, that it brings with it the potential for change. But without growth, there can be no change.
Stuck. Well,
you're just stuck.
You are just stuck, and then you die, because what is not growing is dying.
Yep.
That's even the difference between a person who's growing and the person who's not growing. The person who's growing will go to the process, will fail. I think even the failure is very important in our life.
Absolutely.
And we have to embrace it. We have to accept it. We have to take it with love, because that's how we learn. To draw a beautiful pattern or a beautiful things, you have to go to the process of making mistakes. And that's why even people who create some like tools for drawing, there's tools to raise, you see, because they know that you will go in that process, you will make mistakes, and that. So we have to, and then let's say problem with people, with businesses, with us, it's we don't believe that we can grow in things. I know myself. No, in class, I would say it. I was good, but there was some subject that I was seeing myself as not being good on that. I can spend the whole night studying, but once I'm in the class, I will be like, I want to sit near someone who that, for me, I believe that person doing it well, so that in case something happens, the person will help me in some way. You see, already, even after you study the whole day, and then you have but something in your head have to be triggered, like to be there, like, no, okay, I can do it. That's where everything starts. And then that's where most of us we fail, because already we set ourselves, no, we are not going to succeed, we are going to fail, and then it's not comfortable to fail.
Of course you're going to fail. You have to fail.
But just go with that process. Don't give up. Just push. And then that's the process.
Yeah.
Even Jesus went through that process of growing. It didn't come just Jesus. He was a child, and then grow, and then go learn the language. But he's God. He's God, but he went to the same process of growing. But and even as a human being, he had to learn some skills. So, what about us?
I think he had an unfair advantage. No, that's very true. We have to understand that growth is essential, and the sooner you fail, the sooner you can succeed. And we have to be prepared that there will be failure, but like you said, those failures are not our enemies. They are part of growth, and they are certain. You cannot buy experience. It's impossible. And everybody wants good experience, but few people are willing to pay the price for that experience. And that's why growth is so important, because growth gives you experience, and experience gives you wisdom, and wisdom gives you the ability to do things in the right order. And sometimes it's not that we don't know what to do, is we don't know how to do those. And that's the difference between somebody that, just finished school and somebody that has 20 years of experience. The person that finished school knows what to do, but the person with experience knows how to do it. If you know what to do but you don't know how, it's pointless. And that's, I think, many times that's where we fool ourselves, because we think we know what to do, and because we know what to do, we think we're going to succeed immediately. But then the process of growth teaches you how to do it, or how not to do. In the case of failure, it's like how not to do it.
Yes.
And we can learn from other people, but ultimately, even the things that we learn from other people is still what to do or what not to do. But that how to apply that through your own personality, through your own skills, through your own circumstances, it's different for every person. And so we have to learn. Like I can show you, hundreds of videos and teach you all the techniques, for example, on how we can say how to play chess. Like you can watch videos and videos and videos, but until you haven't actually sat down and played a game of chess, you have no experience, and so you don't know actually how this will play out until you go and you practice and you practice and you practice. And that's why growth is so important for all of our lives and for our businesses, that we can succeed. And I think that's important for our listeners also today to understand, is that if you are in a place, and I'm talking to the listeners here, or to those that are watching the podcast, if you are in a place where you feel stuck, and where you feel like things are not working out, or you feel, that you are a failure, we understand what that feels like. Just know that the only thing that's standing between you and success is growth. And so don't give up on your dream. Don't give up on your business. Don't give up on your marriage. Don't give up on your relationships or your job or whatever it might be. Just, focus on rather growing so that you can become the person that you've been made to be. So I just want to ask Christian to maybe give us just your closing thoughts, and then we'll close it off after that.
I will just like to tell us, to look at Jesus' life, and then even the Bible. I'm sorry. I don't know if I have to say sorry, but I'm a Christian, and I'm proudly open to say it. Because if we look at the Bible, you will see that even the Bible is giving us a room of growth, meaning that there's I don't know, maybe you can remind me, there's a place in the Bible that is saying that a just can fail 7 times, 7 times, but he has to,
get up again.
Yes. Yeah. Like, the most important is you to get up again. That's the most important for you. Fail, get up, and start again. Go. And then you will see that in that process of things, you will learn even more. And the example is just Oxano. Oxano didn't start Oxano. Oxano started somewhere else. And then in process of working on Oxano, trying to grow ourselves, trying to grow as a company, trying to grow as a, it started somewhere with a vision, but that vision, we have been working on that, and then more we fail, more we go to, more we stand again, we get up, and then we try, we learn more, and then right now I can say it's like I'm even scared of it, because seeing it's like it's a powerful tool that will help so many people to grow in the process. So give yourself a room of growth. Give yourself a room of failure, and because there's no other way. Be scared of you just starting with a success, because you can know how to climb. A person who does not how to climb a mountain, if they get the help of a helicopter or something to put him on top there, that person, if you take him down or he comes down off the mountain, he won't be able to go up to the mountain again. And life is just like that. Life is just up and down, up and down. But the person who go through the process of climbing the mountain, it knows the difficulty, but he knows as well where to put his step, where to go, and even the times of him to walk or or times of him maybe to sleep, or which time the weather is good to go. That process is that will make you to become better. And then even if something happened, you will still know the way of going up again.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's very, very wise words. Like, we should fear, in a sense, rather than failure, we should fear instant success, because, like you said, we won't know how to handle it, and you won't know how to do it again either, because it just it's just my one side thought before we close. There's a study that was done on people that win the lottery, and it's shown that most people that win the lottery, that their lives end up being far more worse after winning millions of rands or dollars, than before they had all that money. It's like that instant success actually destroys them because they have no capacity to carry that. They don't know how to handle that because they have not grown. It's like if you would take a small baby tree and you go and you hang like a bunch of fruit on that tree, it's going to bend that tree, right? It's going to break it because it has not grown to the capacity where it's able to bear those fruits and to handle those fruits. And that's, pride comes into play as well when we have instant success or we have not grown and gone through the process of failure and success, then we become proud. We think that we are something when indeed we are not. And then when you fall, great is the fall, And so I like what that thought that you said, that it's so important for us to embrace the process of growth and give ourselves room to grow. And so, in closing, for our listeners, if you are listening to this and you are in a place where you feel like you need to grow, but you're not sure how to grow, and you want some help with that, please feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to us on any of our social media platforms and just send us your name and we'll get in contact with you and we'll see how we can be able to help you to unlock your growth and to overcome those challenges that you are facing that's hindering you from growing and becoming the person that you've been made to be. So that is all from our side today. My name is Gerald Hubert and I've been your host. And this has been the Unlock Your Growth podcast by Oxano 7. And my co-host today, Christian, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for your input and your comments. It's been great.
I enjoyed it now. It's so nice to be here, to be part of the tribe, And let's start, I think all of us together as a tribe will unlock our growth and then just expand.
Yes, amen. That's awesome. I'm excited. Thank you so much for listening today. Have a wonderful day and God bless you. Bye.